Hello Valheimers and welcome to another building video. In this one, I challenge myself to try create a base inside shaped rocks that are located in the coasts of Mistlands. I thought that the base would become much smaller than it did, and it also turned out very aesthetic from the outside. I wanted to make as many houses as possible, so it would look more like a settlement or a village. Since this one is based in the ocean, it prevents some attacks from occurring. It should, however, include some defenses, especially to keep the air cleared. So here we are for another challenge. I think this one requires the most precision to the digging part. This is a follow-up to my previous video, when I made a base inside the plains rocks. Check it out if you haven't watched it before. These shaped rocks are mostly located at the coast in Mistlands. They are also very common, so you will not have any trouble finding them. I think there is only one rock size, but I haven't made any more research into that. So when I started digging, I realized that you need to be very precise and aim towards the middle. But the good thing is that you will find a lot of these rocks, so if you screw something up, you can just switch to another one. Then I repeated the steps for the other sides. Eventually I created a path between the openings. Higher up on the rock, you need to be more careful with what you remove. It's better to remove less than ruin it. You can always compensate and make the houses bigger instead. There is really no limitation to it. I wanted a space for furnaces and did not turn out as expected, but it looked fair enough. Now all the openings were created. There is a path between the bottom ones inside. The ones on the higher levels is accessed from outside, by a bridge from the biggest opening. Then we could start building the houses and decorating inside. The platform was built and I placed down the furnaces. It was a little gap above them, so the smoke would not raise any issues. I then placed the hearth squeezed into the rock. It was high enough to the roof, so I did not need to create a chimney to vent the smoke. And the same applies for the cauldron. And so, let's take a look at the final state. We entered the base from the bottom of the rock. And to the right I created a small hidden loot room, that you can drop off some stuff. And then you have to squeeze yourself and enter the stairs, which leads up to the main room of the base. This is the kitchen area combined with the brewing stuff, which are put inside the house. Here you have everything you need. And this is an exit to the outside. Here you enter the ladders that leads to the houses higher up. And then we proceed to the brewing part. I put some storage on the sides, otherwise you could fit a third fermenter. And then I just put as much storage as I possibly could. We proceeded downstairs that leads to the blacksmith area. I gathered all of the working stations, so you don't have to walk between the houses. I didn't think it became too tight. I rather have them all collected. Here we have another entrance to the outside. This leads to the smelting area at the very bottom, and on the opposite side you have a small dock. On the other side of the base map we have the entrance to house number 3. This contains a cozy little space and a spot for the magical tables. Basically just everything connected to those. The house itself doesn't really contain anything. It's more or less for the aesthetic, and of course for some view outside. Now we have reached the final house, which is the headquarters. I just tried to make a cozy house at the very top of the base. And again, of course you can make the house bigger to make more space. But this one seems big enough just to give an idea, and it also fits with the ambience. As for the previous house, I basically just made a balcony to the outside. It seems that an Yggdrasil tree has spawned inside the rock, so this one became kind of a tree house. If we climb these very narrow stairs, we have a small exit to the outside. First a little room with an extra bed. At the very last we reached the top platform. I just used it for windmill production, but I was also thinking to make a huge tower instead. What do you think? And that, my folks, was it. Leave a like or a comment of your thoughts. See you in the next video.